Welcome back to the KIX 96.5 Morning Show. Boy, we are stoked for our next guest. Saturday night at the Gaslight Social in Casper, Uncle Kracker is taking the stage. Doors open at 6, show starts at 7. You can go to thegaslightsocial.com and get your tickets. They're $25. The man behind Follow Me, Drift Away, Smile, In a Little While, When the Sun Goes Down, My Hometown, and so much more in his brand new single, Reason to Drink. You don't want to miss this. Uncle Kracker, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me, man. That was quite the intro.
Wow.
You got me excited for a second.
well, that's awesome. I saw an interview with you, like in 2019. You said Sweet 16 was done. You just released it like 2 months ago. How much did COVID affect you? Because you don't like to stop. Did it slow you down? I mean, you tried to keep going.
Oh my goodness, yeah. It affected me, affected everybody.
Yeah.
I'm still feeling it. Well, doesn't matter where you go or what you do, somebody's still blaming COVID for it, whether it be supply chain, trying to find good help these days. I don't know what it did, but it slowed me down for sure. It slowed me down. It definitely set me back a couple years, I'm sure.
Well, you signed at age 15. You recorded a rap album. It never came out. I see you all the time, Kracker. You're in the studio doing stuff. How much music is out there that you have recorded that's never been released?
Oh, my gosh. Man. Let me start by saying there's a ton of it that probably shouldn't have been released anyway. Thank goodness. There's all kinds of stuff I got sitting in these hard drives, man. I got stuff that would cancel me. I got stuff that would good stuff, bad stuff. I got tons of. I like writing. I like writing songs, and I like goofing around. So I definitely don't stop doing those things. That's for sure.
Yeah. Well, now the age has changed. People put out all kinds of stuff. Will we ever see some of that come out?
Absolutely. I think especially at this day and age, release everything as much as you can. And I mean, I look back at sitting on Atlantic Records forever. I used to egg them to let's just go in and put out a new record. Like no. Those were 3-year cycles back then. And I see these kids nowadays dropping singles every 4 days, and I'm like. And then everybody bitches about, the streams and how much they're getting paid. I'm like, you kids don't know how good you have it nowadays. There was a time they wouldn't let me put music out. These kids nowadays can put it out as fast as they can make it, which is probably a curse, to be honest, when I listen to some of these kids. But it's just because you can release it tomorrow doesn't mean you should.
Exactly. Just you can record it in your basement doesn't mean you should release it as your single.
Exactly. As much as everybody used to gripe about the gatekeepers at the record labels, it was still a pretty good filter. It was still I wish I had a filter nowadays. I'll get caught at night, be quiet, and I'll be YouTubing around or just floating around the internet, just listening to new stuff, and I'm like, man, what is going on? Like, I get, the whole artistic thing, and we'll have a creative outlet and things like that, but I don't know. It's different. Things are different nowadays, and I'm not that old man that's, against technology or anything like that, but as much as everybody griped about the gatekeepers at these labels, it was still a real pretty good filter. A lot of politics involved in it, of course, and there were a lot of people that didn't get past the gate because of the politics stuff, but it was still a good filter. My next door neighbor here is putting out records where he's farting through choruses, and you're like, and what is that? I don't.
And he's selling it too. That's probably the crazy thing.
Absolutely. Oh yeah. Between that and the OnlyFans farting a jar, I don't know what. I don't know. It's just a different world, man.
Oh, yeah, it definitely is. Well, I saw where you said, you're with Kid Rock when Devil Without a Cause came out. You said, well, he sold 16 million copies. We were thinking if we could just sell 1% for Double Wide. Can you believe, though, looking back now, what Double Wide has done?
No, I can't. And I just thank God it did do what it did for the price they charged me to record that album. Had it not done what it did, I'd still be paying for it. But I can't believe it. I'm definitely been lucky. especially still be sitting here on tour. I mean, I still do 150 shows a year. I can't believe it. I really can't believe it. I got to pinch myself all the time and think, just I don't. A long time ago, I thought, like, man, I probably got about a good 5-year run of this. Maybe get 5 years in and sit back and sit pretty, and then 5 years went by, and I was like, man, I'm still broke. What's going on here? That ain't what I signed up for, man. It was no, I can't believe it though. I'm extremely lucky and happy about all of it, though, to be honest.
If you go to his page, unclecracker.com, in your bio, you say that you always subscribe by the mindset of having fun. Are you still having fun?
I am. I spent a long time not having fun, and let me tell you how not fun that is. That's not.
No.
I do. If it ain't fun, it ain't worth a dime to me anymore. It's there has to be a reason to leave this house.
Yeah.
To get up off this couch, man. And some people would argue like, oh, it's about the money. It's about the money. It was never about money. It really wasn't. It was about having fun and, being happy and keeping a smile on your face and doing things that, I don't know, just staying inspired. That was it. And
yeah, entertaining.
It is entertaining, and and that's what it was in the beginning. And then when you started selling records, it did start becoming about the money. Everything was about the money.
Yeah.
In fact, it's like, it's not about the money; it's about the money. So it was. But I just remember, and that's when things got really not so fun. You were like, man, what are we doing out here? So I don't know. I just it took me a minute, but I did pause and I put things on hold for a minute, and I just regrouped and was like, all right, why should I be leaving this house right now? I can sit in my basement and write songs and make music as long as I live and be happy. I love the outcome. I love finishing. I just like the finished result.
Yeah. Well, you have 5 million monthly listeners on Spotify, so you can make a living at least sitting on the couch.
Yeah,
so
well.
That's a good thing. Well, we're about the same age, Kracker. We're looking at your band. I mean, they've been with you, I think, since the pandemic. They all seem like they're pretty young guys and gals.
Wait a minute. Before you go further, what's Spotify?
Yeah.
My band guys, all from Detroit. I have a keyboard player. Her name is Maureen Lacoste. She's from Montreal. But the rest of my guys are all Detroit guys.
Oh, really? Well, that's cool.
Yeah.
Well, we're chatting with Uncle Kracker. Go check him out, unclecracker.com. He's everywhere on social media. Check him out Saturday night. He's going to be in Casper at the Gaslight Social. Reason to Drink is his latest single. Well, how did you do it, Kracker? You started with rap. You kind of hit rock. Now to country. Was there always a country bone in you, or what's the deal?
There was. I grew up, I grew up listening to a lot of things, but I grew up, my dad listened to Patsy Cline, George Jones, Conway Twitty. My mom listened to B.J. Thomas, James Taylor. When I turned 10, I started hearing the Fat Boys on late, public access television. You had to wait till midnight on a Friday or Saturday to see anything like that. I've just always loved all kinds. Well, there's a few kinds I don't dig, but most kinds I'm into.
Well, and you say when you write music, everything's open. I mean, you're not shooting for one genre, or how does it work?
Not at all. Everything is open. There's only 12 notes, so it's just it's pretty simple. Honestly, people would argue like in the past that like we need to do a country remix of this. So you'd give them the song and they just put a pedal steel on it and be like, yep, it's country. I've always, anytime I've sat down in a studio, it just had to feel good and it had to feel right. And I won't go like into like this whole organic diatribe. But it had to feel right and it had to feel good, and that's how I've done it.
Yeah, you make a lot of people feel good. I went around telling people that we were going to interview you. Everybody had something positive to say about you, from if they were 20 years old to 60 years old. They all liked you. So the range that you hit is incredible. My daughter, who's 18, her boyfriend, who just went to college, he said he listened to you for like 2 months this year at college. I was like, wow.
That's fun to hear. I got to be honest. It's fun to hear. My daughter in college too. Same thing. I hear stories about that stuff, and part of it makes you feel old, and part of it makes you feel young.
Exactly. Yeah. It all makes you feel good. That's the one thing. My boss here at the station said he heard a story where when you guys were hanging out with Charlie Daniels, he wouldn't call you Uncle Kracker. He'd call you Cousin Kracker.
Well, that was Hank Williams Jr.
Oh, that was Hank Williams Jr. Okay.
Yeah, he would never. And I don't know what that's all about, to be honest. I don't know. I'm like, at first I was like, maybe that's like a Southern thing, like like Uncle would be like I don't know, like a superior, I guess, maybe. So maybe it was like Cousin Kracker. Cousin. Too funny.
Yeah,
Too funny.
I mean, being on the radio, I'm always worrying about my voice. What do you? Because you've got kind of the raspy voice. Do you worry about your voice?
So I should worry about it, but I don't. With all 2 packs a day here, it doesn't seem to faze me. But there are times, when I get out west and it gets dusty and dehydrated, because I don't drink water, coffee's plenty. So I just I don't. I should though. I should care about it more than I do, and I don't do like vocal warm-ups and things like that. I remember I took my kids out about 10 years ago on tour. And my daughter was like, Dad, don't you get ready and do like vocal warm-ups? And I was like, no, she'll be warmed up after about the 6th or 7th song. Just about the time that show's over, my voice is so sweet.
For the encore, I sound amazing.
Oh my God, you should hear my encore. Because I don't do an encore. That's why you should hear it.
Exactly. I also heard a funny quote. You said, people just think that I came out of Kid Rock's womb and fell into Kenny Chesney's arms.
That's pretty much it. All these years, my whole career, because of coming out of the Kid Rock camp, there was a lot of so what's Pam Anderson like? What's she like? This is how I'd go in to promote my new record and things like that. And the first question people would ask is so what do you think of Pam Anderson? And I'm like, what do you think about the new record I'm trying to sell? That was, and then things switched over. When I did When the Sun Goes Down with Kenny Chesney, got really lucky with that, thanks to Kenny.
Yeah.
But that's what it was. They just. It was all my questions, all the Uncle Kracker questions were about Kid Rock, Pam Anderson, Kenny Chesney. That was it.
That was it. Yeah. I tried to when I was like, I'm not going to ask him anything about Kid Rock or keep it to the minimum because he's heard enough. He's answered enough questions about Kid Rock, so it's off the table. You are currently, this is an off date for you, Saturday in Casper at Gaslight Social. Go to the gaslightsocial.com. Get your tickets now. You don't want to miss it because you've been on the road with ZZ Top and Leonard Skinner.
Yeah, yep. I've been on the road with Skinner and ZZ Top, which is a blast, by the way, watching those guys every night. Takes me back to what I was talking about the fun thing. It was over the years I've been offered kinds of every year. Somebody says, so-and-so wants you to go out direct support and open up here and open up there and low dough and whatever. And I'm fine, man. I like playing and I like keeping inspired. So as long as I'm not incurring any expense or whatever, I'm fine with it. But I've turned down a lot of tours over the years, but they hit me this year. Earlier, they planned this a while back, like with Skinner and ZZ Top. But I'm like, is that even? You even had to ask me? That's of course,
Yeah, I'll do it for free.
Yeah, do you want to go out with Leonard Skinner and ZZ Top? And you're like, is Gene Simmons a permanent member of KISS? Of course I want to go out with Skinner and ZZ Top.
Yeah. How's it been with the crowd? Because you are a generation gap.
Oh, yeah, and you feel it. There's no doubt. You feel the generation gap is 100% there. It's a very mellow crowd. One thing I've noticed over the years as a kid, and I'd go see Skinner's, used to be a lot of people would drape themselves in the flags and walk around.
Oh yeah.
You don't see a lot of that nowadays. It's different, but there is definitely a generational gap. But these people still are singing "Follow Me" and "Drift Away" and "Smile," and so they sing my songs. So I'm like, they don't sing them as loud as they sing "Sweet Home Alabama," but I'm extremely happy to be there, and I couldn't thank any of them guys enough for having me out. To be able to sit and eat lunch, Billy Gibbons, every day out there, listen to him talk and his stories. Billy Gibbons walks in the catering room at noon, and he opens his mouth, and you're automatically like, "What's he gonna say now?" You know, it's just, I get it, because you're always learning, and who better to learn from than these guys?
Well, yeah, exactly. Unbelievable. Well, I mean, the generation gap that way, but then you go to CMA Fest this year, where then you turn around, you're the old man.
Oh, I know, man. It's hard to. Those aren't hard pills to swallow, Those are. God knows I swallow enough, but these are just things you do, man. It creeps up on you. It's, when I was that kid out there, I remember thinking like, what they got him out here for? Like, it's been years. Yeah. He ain't had one on the radio in years. But the older you get, the more your mindset changes. I'm like, I don't care for this. I just enjoy performing, and when people, when I can still connect with fans after all these years, I just feel lucky, man, and I still have fun doing it.
Go check him out, UncleCracker.com. Go to Gaslight Social, thegaslightsocial.com. Get your tickets. He's going to be there Saturday night. Doors open at 6. The opening acts start at 7. I think he's got 2 local opening acts. It's a Saturday night. Nobody's sad on a Saturday night. You got the perfect opener. I've been checking out some of your set lists. I like that Yeah, Yeah, Yeah has been making an appearance.
Oh, man, that's such a fun one to pull out because, that single, we tried using that as a single twice, and it tanked both times. Twice. We came out with that as a single, and we had so much, backlash, because at the time, Kid Rock was releasing his, 6th single off Devil Without a Cause, and it was a song called Wasting Time. Well, radio was so well, why would, that sounds just like Wasting Time. We're just going to play Wasting Time, because they've had good research on him thus far, so heaven forbid we try something new out here. So Yeah, Yeah, Yeah didn't work, and that's when we came out with Follow Me. After that, well, then we tied it in with there was a movie called Shanghai Noon, where we did a video, and we had Owen Wilson and Jackie Chan in it. Lucy Liu wouldn't do it, but Owen Wilson and Jackie Chan did, so they were in this video. We tried again. It still tanked. Didn't work.
Well, you had to still figure, man, I made it. I'm in a fight scene with Jackie Chan. You punched Jackie Chan in the video.
He made me do it. He wanted me to do it. That man, by the way, I think he's still, to this day, one of the nicest men I've ever met in this business. He was an absolute, just an absolute gem and professional, and I watched him, getting ready. He had this guy with him that did all of his, fight scenes, or what are the scenes they call if it was going to be dangerous, like a stunt double?
Yeah.
So he had this this stunt double guy who did all some dangerous stuff. But I was watching them back, in the area where you're getting ready and do makeup and clothing and all that stuff. Well, there was these trailers, and they were hanging sideways. If you could imagine just monkey bars ahead of you and just jumping up and hanging from them. They were hanging like that, but sideways. It looked like an optical illusion. But that's how in shape these dudes were.
Oh, yeah.
And Jackie Chan was just what a great dude. Owen Wilson was too. I've seen him a ton after this. Just a nice dude. They're both nice cats.
Yeah, I love the last scene when Jackie's fake smashing the guitar. You guys are all standing behind him with just huge grins on your face. You can tell it looked like you were having a good time.
I was at that was my first real video, so I'm this is great. I should not be here right now. This is awesome.
Well, that's you definitely had to pinch yourself on that shoot. But man, go and see him Saturday night. It's going to be just as fun. The Gaslight Social in Casper. Go to thegaslightsocial.com and go and check him out. Reason to Drink. How long have you been holding this song?
Well, that one I wrote over the pandemic, towards the tail end, when we were still not coming out of the house and things like that. I wrote that with my buddy Blair Daly, who I wrote Smile with, and Troy Burgess. We did they were talking about Zoom rights, and I was like, well, that sounds weird. But one thing about the Zoom right thing was it was so sweet because you didn't have to leave your house.
Yeah.
So it was, I don't know, it just came out of that, and just everybody was over that, 4 days in, but it was but that song came out of that. me and Blair had been talking, and he was something about, wow, that's not a reason to drink. And I was like, well, I don't usually need too many reasons to drink, to be honest. It was just one of them ideas that popped in, and we decided to finish that on a Zoom right.
Yeah, well, it worked on Zoom. Reason to Drink, his latest single. Go and check him out. Uncle Kracker, Saturday night at the Gaslight Social. Well, Kracker, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure. It's been an honor. I appreciate it.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
It's Reason to Drink. It's Uncle Kracker. It's KIX 96.5.